This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. Two cop stories. The first one is of a friend I have had for so many years, including in school. He was 2 years behind me in school. He later became a cop in a small town around here. When he first started being a cop, they made him buy his own police car in that small town. They made him buy his own handgun, and he bought a nice little .38 Special revolver. That's right. That's what he did. And now they did give him a box of ammunition per month to practice with. But other than that, that's what his law enforcement started out as. He said to me, though, he said, you know, I'm the most overpaid government employee out there 95% of the time. But he said that 5% of the time, he said, I am way underpaid. Way underpaid. He said, when I have to go to a car accident and help pull a dead body out, especially a dead child, he said, I'm way underpaid. Or go to an accident where a deer has been hit and he has to kill that wounded deer. Or to go to someone's home because they haven't been seen for a few days, usually an elderly person, and he has to break in the house and find that dead body. Many things that the rest of us wouldn't want to do, he's paid to do, and he steps up and he does it. He tells that 9/11 happened, and he said a car that evening drove through his small town with Texas plates. It was speeding, and so he pulled him over, and he said because it looked like there was Arabs in there, and he was pretty goosey yet that day, he let them drive on out of town before he pulled them over. Because he said, if we're going to have a shootout, if they're the terrorist type, and they want a gunfight, he said, I don't want anybody in my town getting shot other than me. And so he pulled them over, mind you, and he did it, and all he had was a .38 Special, 6 shots. And there were 4 of them in there. He got up there. None of them were American citizens. And yes, they spoke Arabic, except for one that spoke English. He wrote them up for the speeding ticket, ran their plates. There was nothing there. And so he had to let them go. But he was willing to die alone rather than to possibly get somebody else injured. Now that's the kind of law enforcement we need all over the country. Now, another kind of law enforcement we need is somebody that'll step up and say one of his own was wrong. And they did that today. A county sheriff said that he had an officer that was outside the school shooting in Florida when 17 people were killed in that school. And it lasted for 6 minutes, and he's sitting out there in his patrol car. He had to hear it. And he heard on the radio what was also going on, and for all the law enforcement to get there. And he stayed in his car. He didn't get out. He didn't go in. He could have saved half, 2/3, maybe many more. He could have saved lives. Yes, that would have meant risking his life. Yeah, right then he'd have been underpaid. But that would have been his job. Just as a firefighter goes into a building with a fire to save lives, he risks his own. A cop has to do that very same thing, and this cop did not. Too many cops want paid for the 95% of the time and let us down on that 5%. Too many cops enjoy being a bully, but then when it steps up, they're less than, and they have to empty a gun on an unarmed man, when we better save those bullets for the crazies like that down there in Florida, when a demon possesses someone and they start shooting. Our children deserve better. We deserve better. And the law enforcement had better weed out those, because that's the true loss and the true cost of a cop that didn't do his job. Thank you for your time for the two cop stories.